Is this the Dr. Ray?
What are you asking me?
Are all people mentally ill?
I have no idea.
Boy, you hit the nail right on the head there.
Now, why would I say something so dumb?
I'm not sure what you're talking about.
I don't remember what I said.
You're always contagious, by the way.
Am I really that awful?
I don't care. I'm not concerned with that stuff.
And I guess that's true, but doggone.
As usual, you're doing all the talking.
Well, are you better than God?
No way.
I'm going to give you some bad news. You got a problem.
I just wanted to call and get some wise advice, hopefully.
Now, from the studios of Living Bread Radio Network in Canton, Ohio, the hometown of Mother Angelica, here's Dr. Ray.
Sorry, I'm delayed here. I'm just looking over my list of snappy things I'm supposed to say right before the show begins. Here's one, hip hip for Rick. That's not bad. It's not bad. Emotionally peaking, all biorhythms in sync, aligned with Jupiter and Mars. Formerly Pluto, before it got the boot on that Mickey Mouse move. They voted on it. They decided Pluto wasn't a planet, but then it got reinstated. I don't know if it got bigger or what. That's all I have. But I do have the number. The number is 877-573-7825. That is the number to get onto the program. You are my guests. I ignore all of these e-persons, that come in. Try this guest. Try this book. Wonderful, wonderful guest, author. Nope. You're my guests. You call in with a situation or a question or a puzzlement about a person, circumstance, question you have maybe about psychology or development or intellect or emotions or therapy or a particular diagnosis you don't understand. I do most of my professional psychology at the office now. Don't do much consulting anymore like I used to. I see private clients. A lot of you contact me around the country. Dr. Ray. I said, nope, I can see you in the office, which pretty much eliminates anybody outside of, they have to decide I'm worth talking to drive all that way. So most of my clients come within about a 2-block area of my office. I noticed that. Some of them are 2 miles away, and I say, well, I'm 2 miles down the road. Ooh, that's a bit of a ways. Maybe we'll see if we can find somebody closer. So the number here, 877-57-EQUAL. A couple of invites that I've been doing. I feel kind of like a nagging parent here. I don't know what the numbers are in Atlanta. I think they're pretty good. Seats are limited. We're bringing Living Right with Dr. Ray, the TV show, to Atlanta. We're going to be partnering with The Quest, wonderful station down that way. Atlanta's a major market. I think it's in the top 10. So there should be a lot of you folks there. No question about that. August 18th and 19th, those 2 nights. Shows will be taped at 5:30 and 7:15. Usually takes about 90 minutes to tape a show. The audience is critical. When I approached EWTN some 16 years ago with an idea for a show, I said I just want to have a live audience. They add to the energy level. They add to the fun. They ask questions. And EWTN said, yes, we agree with that. We believe that the audience is even more important than the host. I said, well, I wouldn't go that far. They said, well, we would. So that's how important you are. You go to thequestatlanta.com, and you'll see the banner there, Living Right with Dr. Ray, and then down at the bottom says register. You can come to 1, 2, 3, 4 shows. Some people do come to all 4, believe it or not. Very nice. I think it's partly because these are some big homeschooling families with 9 kids. They bring them all, take up the whole front row, which is good. Want the kids there. We've done a lot of bits with kids on the programs. As Johnny Carson said, don't try to compete with animals or kids. You lose on the air. But we feed you in between. Nothing fancy, but just some food anyway. So I'd love to have you there. No question about that. One more invite. Starting September 21, I will be offering a 7-week parenting course through the Guadalupe Radio Network. Oh, yeah. Going to get a chance to dig down deep into discipline struggles, parenting struggles, And even if you're a great parent, we'll make you better, I think. Help you raise that 1 in 100 kid, not your basic civilized kid, but a virtuous kid. Upright kid in an upside-down world. I'd love to have you. I mean, obviously, you don't have to make all 7 weeks. I mean, you'll have psychological gaps in your makeup. There's no question about that. But love to have you. So you go to grnonline.com/academy. And they have a whole bunch of shows there classes that they are sponsoring and putting on for a number of weeks. And you can just click on my face. Well, don't just click on the mustache, not towards the eyes, okay, please? Just click on the face, and it'll tell you the times, the dates. It's Zoom, so obviously you can be in your bunny slippers and watch the whole thing. I'm going to be in my bunny slippers. Enough of that. 877-57-EQUAL. That is the number to call to get onto the program. All right. When I graduated high school, contrary to what my children think, it was not a one-room high school. I think my class was I think it was 371 people. We had 3 people with 4 points. Personal disclosure, I was not one of them. 3 girls. It was Beth Doulabon, Ann Fellows, and Linda Wong. Linda, she's some kind of major league surgeon now. I don't know. They had 4 points. I was close. But something I did, I tried to set a record when I was a senior. How many nights I could go home without a book. Yeah, I know. My record, I think, was 49 school nights without a book. Tried to get it done and studied at school. That's irrelevant. The point there is that we had 3 out of 371 with a 4-point grade average. This article came out from the Epoch Times as recently as 1995. A child's straight A report card meant something. Still relatively rare. It indicated the child had worked hard and was learning at grade level. Be source of congratulations, wouldn't it? We'd take you out for ice cream, figure out the damage for a college tuition bill. Well, in 2026, if a child comes home with a straight A report card, that's not such a big deal anymore. Who was it? Lake Wobegon? I forget the guy that talked about Lake Wobegon, where every child is above average. Well, actually, that's becoming true now. Half of all seniors now graduate with grades in the A range, making it by far the most commonly awarded grade. Well, that's good, isn't it? I mean, we're learning. All these kids are really putting forth the effort, getting this stuff down pat. Oops. Proficiency test scores and SAT and ACT scores have declined year after year. And as a matter of fact, more and more colleges are not putting much weight on grade points. They don't mean a whole lot. All part of the self-esteem movement. Got to think we're wonderful. We got to be great. We can't be disappointed. We can't have winners and losers. We can't have somebody better at something than you are. All A's for everybody. Interestingly enough, as a sidelight, one of the things I will hear from parents in my office after they describe, say, a very difficult relationship with a 15-year-old, they will then add an addendum. Well, but she gets good grades. And I don't say anything, but I'd like to say so does everybody else. An A at one time meant a 90 to 100%. That's what an A was. For me, it was 94 to 100. That's what we had, 94 to 100. Now, grades are inflated. They're just inflated. Let's see. For years, I'm just quoting from this article now, the headlines have been full of reports of students getting good grades but failing miserably at actual academics. Oh, yeah, you get the colleges will tell you we got to do more and more remedial stuff. A student in Connecticut, 2025, graduated from high school with a 4.0. That's straight A's. Then she sued the district because she couldn't read. University of California at San Diego, one of the most prestigious schools in California, in 2025, had to put almost 12% of its incoming freshmen into remedial math classes. 70% of that remedial class tested below middle school. However, 1 in 4 of them had a perfect 4.0 in high school math. We've made grades useless, absolutely useless. I know schools who have gotten rid of valedictorians. Why? Well, they don't want the other kids to feel bad. You know, somebody got to. Well, now you'd have to have 264 valedictorians. What has happened? This is all part of this terribly misguided self-esteem movement. We just got to feel good about ourselves. We can't be frustrated. We can't recognize that people have varying abilities, and we can't have a sturdy enough self-image to accept that. When I got blown out of engineering my freshman year, I was like, oh, whoa, I guess engineering isn't for me. Too bad for you people. I went into psychology. Yeah. My son, who's an engineer, he came up to me after he had written one of his papers, and he said, hey, Dad, you were in engineering. Look at this. See what you think. Yeah, I looked at it. I said, Andrew, about the only word I understand in there is the. And even that, depending upon where it is. GPAs are rising while course rigor and assessment scores are falling. Oh, man, that is so true. Okay, very quickly. Oh, man, I'm going to have to get to your calls here. Very quickly. Who is to blame? The students and their parents make it through all of high school, getting the signals that their work is adequate with straight A's on every report card. Parent nor student realizes the grades don't reflect reality until a child ends up in a remedial class in his or her first year of college, or struggles to learn what they have to learn in their employment. Well, I'm going to have to, this is a long article, I'm going to have to go to your calls. There's more to deal with here. Maybe I'll deal on a future monologue, but right now, 877-57-EQUAL, that's the number to get onto the program. I'm Dr. Ray Guarendi. I'd certainly appreciate your company.
This Ave Maria program brought to you in part by the following nonprofit.
One of the greatest threats to your family isn't a disaster or a virus, but addiction. In nearly every family and every pew, someone is silently struggling. Beginning July 11th, Shalom World TV and the I Thirst Initiative present Unshackled, a powerful new series on the Catholic Church's response to the addiction crisis, bringing together leading voices to discuss real healing. Stream it free at shalomworld.org or on the Shalom World app today.
Do you own popular index mutual funds or ETFs? If so, you're automatically own shares of companies that conflict with your moral beliefs. Ave Maria mutual funds are managed to conform to pro-life and pro-family values. Long-term investors can invest in the no-load Ave Maria mutual funds. The experienced professional portfolio managers make decisions based on investment fundamentals and pro-life values. You can learn more about Ave Maria mutual funds today at 866-AVE-MARIA or visit AveMariaFunds.com.
For 30 years, Ave Maria Radio has been bringing the light of Christ into your homes and cars. To honor this milestone, we want to celebrate the power of God's grace through your voice. Did a program spark a profound conversion in your life, or has a message reaffirmed your faith when you needed it most? Call us at 734-930-5200. That's 734-930-5200. Share your journey and help us celebrate 30 years of proclaiming the gospel.
Hi, this is Vanessa Denha-Garmo. Sylvan Learning offers personalized one-on-one academic coaching online from home, designed around your child's unique needs and schedule. Strong academic skills today can help create opportunities tomorrow. Higher grades and stronger test scores can open the door to scholarships, top universities, and a brighter future. Visit mysylvancoach.com to learn more about one-on-one coaching online from home. That's mysylvancoach.com.
Having an in-body experience as we speak. Yes, I feel like I'm trapped inside my body, looking out my eyes. What a weird experience. This is a major league heavy. Mary calling from Colorado. Hello, Mary.
Hello.
Wow.
Let me turn off my radio.
Can't you just call me about potty training?
I know this is a tough one.
Yeah.
I've been taking care of my granddaughter for 10 years because her dad's in prison for trying to kill his mother, which she observed it when she was 2.5. And so my granddaughter just overacts. She's just won't take orders, won't do chores. She's just almost nasty. And my daughter says, "Mom, you can't discipline her. She's got a lot of trauma and stuff like this." So it's gotten really bad. She used to have a conscience, and now it's just kind of like I'm the target. I'm her safe target, and she's just coming on so strong against me, just for nothing, asking her what she wants for breakfast. She's just so full of anger, and I don't know what to do. And so, recently I just said, she's got to get some help. She's got to get some help. And my daughter just calls me a victim. Why, it's not personal. She's just a kid. It's just hormones. And so I'm kind of caught between a rock and a hard place because I don't want to go against what my daughter wants me to do. But, I just feel bad that this kid is acting out in a way. She shouldn't talk to anybody with that much disrespect. It's just wrong. That's not the way I was raised. If I haven't looked at my parents cross-eyed, I got it, so I just don't know how to respond.
Is she living with you?
She lives with her mom, and her mom's great. Her mom's a great mom. She loves her kid, but she just started a business. So I take the extra. So I for the last 10 years, I've played a really primary role. And the kid, and she was so Catholic, she had to go to church with me every day because I go every day. And so she just loved Jesus, and she just had a strong faith, and I've never seen a kid so in love with God. And she always talked about how much she loved being Catholic. She even talked about it in school. Now she's just told me she's so angry. She said, "Oh, by the way, I'm not Catholic anymore, so don't talk to me about God." So
your daughter has allowed this child to basically be raised with minimal standards and minimal discipline, and she's blaming it all on the fact that at age 2.5, which she does not remember, she saw something, and your daughter is now. Does your daughter recognize that this lack of discipline and standards is causing this?
I hope so, because she says to me, "Mom," she calls me sometimes because she goes, "Mom, I just don't know what to do with her." And when she was little, she was a very strict disciplinarian. She put her in timeout for 45 minutes. I go, "How long do you have to do this, Alex?" She goes, "As long as it takes. I'm not letting her dad's genes get a hold of her."
So why did she change? Why did she change, Mary? Why did she change?
She's changed. Now all her friends are saying it's just hormones. You just got to ride this out. But, she's
okay, let's see how this relates to you. If she's totally uncooperative with you, I think you might want to consider telling your daughter, "I can't watch her for you anymore," because she's uncooperative. She's ugly. She's disrespectful. Now, I have no doubt in my mind this young girl has a smartphone, so that doesn't help. But given all that...
No, she has no technology. She hasn't at all, which is really beautiful. She's got an iPad now because she does art stuff. And her mom says she's blocked her from everything, but she's never had a phone.
Okay. Well, she has a device, so never mind. She gets around on that. But all that said, a couple of things. You're not going to... If her mother has the attitude of, this kid has been traumatized, and therefore... I can't discipline her.
Yeah.
Then you see what's happening.
She can, but I can't.
You're not allowed?
No, I can't discipline her. She goes, Mom, that's up to me. You tell me what's going on, and then I will discipline her. But she doesn't.
All right. Well, then at this point, you're facing something, Mary.
I know, and I'm 79 years old. I mean, it's like less than years.
I can't watch her if, in fact, I can't get her cooperation. And the fact that she's not cooperating with me tells me you're not doing anything about it when she goes home. If for example, if, for example, she's just ugly and disrespectful to you, you tell her mother that. Her mother probably should eliminate all of her privileges for the rest of the day or until the next time she comes back around to your house. But her mother's not doing that. Mother's not doing anything like that.
Doctor, she says that. She said, my daughter, she said, it tells me a different story. She said, you do this and this and this. And I go, that's not true. She's a lie. She's been lying since she came out of the womb. I mean, why would you believe it 12-year-olds rather than me?
So, Mary, here's what you're asking me. What can you do about it? Well, you can only do about it on your end.
I know.
And your end is, I can't watch her if you can't make her behave for me.
Okay.
I mean, that's where you're at, isn't it?
I know. It's just sad, though, because...
Well, it's terribly sad.
They're my family.
And I'm telling you, you ain't saying this, but I'm reading it between the lines, that there's a lot more dynamics going on there regarding this child being controlled and disciplined, especially if she's that nasty toward you, which is incredible, and the fact that she's basically saying, I hate religion. So something is influencing this child, and something is allowing her to be more progressively out of control. And her mother is saying, I can't handle her. Which means, and again, I don't know what the dynamics are over there, but for a 12-year-old girl to be so completely uncooperative, you got to start exploring what's going on in the home. And I think your best bet is to say, I can't tell you what to do, but consider it.
I did it once and it worked. Her mother, because her mother used to talk to me that way and treat me that way. And so when the daughter started doing it, I said, all right, I'll do one, but I'm not doing two. I'm done. If you two can't respect me, I'm done.
Well, there you go.
So my daughter got it together, and she's been very respectful, except for the last 2 months. She's just had it. You know, she thinks I'm just like taking it personally, and I'm just
you
playing
won't
victim.
be mistreated. It's that simple. If she's going to believe a 12-year-old over her own mother, that tells you something, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Sure.
Thank you, Doctor. I just needed to just throw this, against another source, because
My wife and I had a rule. If you mistreat any other person, our response in terms of discipline and holding you accountable is going to be much more significant than if you did it at home. Because we will always love you, but other people won't. Other people won't like you when you're obnoxious. You don't like your granddaughter. Come on, admit it, Mary. You don't like her.
I don't.
I know. Who would?
I love her, but I don't like her.
Who likes to get treated like that? Especially from a kid.
It takes me a whole day to pull it together.
No, then you got to
have somebody scold you for 8 hours or whatever, 5-6 hours. I mean, it's just
you got to make
berate you, and it's just so wrong.
You got to make some decisions there, girl. You do. 877-57-EQUAL. That's the number to get onto the program. Catherine, she said the parents, she wanted to share a personal experience, and Catherine called, and she said, I want to say something to Dr. Ray, and then she said, I guess I don't. She stayed on the line for 2 minutes. You know, girls in college used to hang up on me a lot sooner than that. Thank you for joining me here. I'm getting more and more of these questions, especially those who have a traditionally moral worldview about things that once were never, ever questioned. Anonymous caller here from Oklahoma. She's a mental health peer supporter. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Well, 15 years ago, you never had to deal with this. I never had to deal with it.
I know. And I'm considered the weird one.
Isn't that interesting? Isn't it interesting?
I'm the troublemaker.
How so are you coming into conflict with those around you about the transgender issue?
Well, I work with people with severe and persistent mental illness. And when someone considers themselves transgender, I am expected to call them by their opposite gender name and by their incorrect pronouns. I'm expected to do that. My boss expects me to do that.
Okay. So if you do, then what?
Well, the first time it happened, I kind of fudged around and then the person left. So now I'm being prophylactic and trying to figure out what I'm going to do next time it happens. But we do have a situation where a coworker goes by they and them.
Do you ever have occasion to call them they and them?
Well, it's very difficult to work and not call someone by their pronouns. What I plan on doing when this is a new situation, what I plan on doing is using their first name at all times instead of using pronouns. And that is going to be very awkward and very obvious. And I need to know what I'm going to say to my boss when she questions why I'm being disrespectful.
Will she fire you?
Maybe, but I don't need the job. I'm retired. It's a retirement job. I don't need the money. I like the job. I want to work there. I like the job, but I don't need the money. I don't need the job.
Her attitude is you're being disrespectful if you don't call them exactly what they want to be called.
I'm anticipating that. I have that impression. She's all gung-ho about calling the person they.
What if they wanted to be called Lord something? Would you have to call them Lord something?
I don't know.
What if they wanted to be called Jesus?
But when we had the transgender person, I was expected to use the incorrect pronouns.
Well, you can do that. Obviously, you're just going along because you're in a position where you think you can do a lot of good for a lot of people, and that's not a hill you want to die on. And you recognize that at some point we're going to have a much more balanced look at this whole transgender thing, but it's fascinating to me how someone like yourself who says, wait, this person has just simply declared by their head that biologically speaking, all the trillions of cells in their body are incorrect. You got a decision to make here, my dear. Whether you say, okay, I'm going to stand my ground, I'm going to tell my boss, I am not going to enter into something that I believe is just counter to reality, or you can just simply use the pronouns because that's what they wish you to do and recognize that the other 98% of the time you'll be dealing with people who this issue won't come up.
Yeah. Because if I take a stand and I get fired, then I have no influence.
Right.
I've lost all influence.
That's true.
But if I don't take a stand, where does it end?
Well,
and
I
kind of feel like I feel like I'm in a position where I can take a stand because I can afford to get fired,
Well, yeah, but the question becomes, and again, I know there are going to be people listening to me and say, Dr. Ray, what are you talking about? She needs to take a stand. The question becomes, what is your stand? In other words, if you say, I believe that with my worldview about things as a mental health peer counselor, I can offer a perspective for a lot of these folks that they're not going to get elsewhere. You know as well as I do that a lot of the peer counselors would just applaud everything that they want to do. You're yeah, of course. That's kind of the way it is now. Okay. But you're saying, no, I have a different perspective on things, and I can help these folks out in a much broader way. And there are rare occasions where I have to say they or them, or call the guy by the girl's name that he chooses. All right, I'll do it. Some people say, you got to take a stand. You got to resist it. Like you said, where's it end? Well, it's going to end. At some point, it is going to end. There's even signs now that it's going to end. A lot less people of the younger ages are declaring themselves trans. And I just saw an article that said for the First Children's Hospital is now having a detransition unit for those people coming in who say, "Oops, I went a little too far on this." So. You decide, dear. I don't personally think that you're sacrificing your morals or your standards by simply saying, okay, I'll call this person they, them. All right. What do they want? It's interesting you bring that up because I write. And in the books, I have found out that the new grammar rules are, do you remember when we were growing up, the subject and the predicate had to match in their gender.
Right.
So if I said
right.
this, but not anymore. Now it can be a singular subject and a plural pronoun. So I can say, well, somebody says that they don't approve. And that is linguistically now okay.
Yeah. But I don't want to let society do that. I don't want to give in. I don't want to concede that.
Well, then you just simply say, I'm gonna call them. I'm not going to call them that, and your boss is going to call you in and say, well, you're not respecting our clients for what they want, and they have mental illness situations. But it's interesting, part of my question on this would be, okay, if your boss is saying that our clients have mental health struggles, is she also saying that the confusion about their gender is not a mental health struggle? Is that what she's saying?
She's I don't know. But she definitely says we should respect it and call them that. And yeah, but see, I think all this transgender treatment is malpractice, by the way, and I don't want to commit malpractice.
Well, you're not committing malpractice by simply yielding to a pronoun.
Right.
Okay, I wouldn't stretch it that far.
Encouraging them. Yeah. But if I encourage them, and also the thing about you're not supposed to put your values on other people in mental health, but that's kind of not,
everybody.
That's impossible. All mental health is
your boss is putting her values on the mental health. Because she's saying, I believe that transgender is legitimate, and that's my value. You got a decision to make, my dear. You either stand your ground, or you will get fired most likely, or you say, I will stay here and do all the good that I can do within this environment, and here and there I will have to sacrifice a pronoun or a name. Avoiding all known forms of psychobabble. Dr. Ray here. Thank you for joining me. I'm getting more and more counselors of a traditional bent lamenting this whole issue to me of, okay, in my setting, and not necessarily with their clients, but in a setting, a peer group setting, where they are ostracized, they are made to feel disrespectful. But it's interesting how we've kind of narrowed our expectation on this. If I insist that everybody call me Lord Ray, nobody will call me Lord Ray. But that's how I would want to be referred to, isn't it? But nobody's doing that. Are they not respecting me? Dr. Ray, you're really stretching it. You're obviously not Lord Ray. Well, someone would make the case that you're obviously not a woman either. Okay. Anna from Indiana. Anna, Indiana. Hi, Anna.
Hi there.
Well, do you have contact with your son or not?
I do, and I've really tried to reach out to my daughter-in-law and try to make a connection. I've been married almost 5 years, and I think I've always tried to keep my mouth closed, but I'm seeing more and more. Well, it kind of popped up as a quote today. I think my phone's listening to my thoughts, and it was, "My desire to be well-informed is at odds with my desire to remain sane." And I just try to confirm, scheduling or visits or happenings during the visits. And the daughter-in-law always has to be present, or the son is overruled or thrown under the bus. She gets very defensive if she doesn't call the shots. And it's very confusing to me. I feel like I'm having less and less of a relationship with my son because if I talk to him or ask him a question and she's not directly involved, then he gets in trouble, more or less.
Why doesn't she like you?
I'm sorry?
Why doesn't she like you?
Well, I don't know. Sometimes I think maybe I'm a threat. The only thing I've noticed in the past is she does, she tracks him on her phone. She doesn't like to be left alone. She seems very insecure. He had battled an issue with pornography while they were dating. So I don't know if it's a control thing. She claims to say she likes me, but it's hard to know.
Does she insult you? Is she difficult around you? Does she ignore you? Does she make snarky remarks?
No, not usually. And I've really, really tried to invest in her story, her life, and I think she appreciates that. But she just seems to really control. I mean, they have to talk about every single topic before it's approved.
What do you think is making your son so agreeable to all this?
I don't know. I think it's maybe the guilt of the pornography addiction is all I could come up with. And I don't know where he's at in that battle. I haven't asked him in years. I didn't know once they were married that it was my place.
Well, that doesn't make sense, Anna. That doesn't make sense. I mean, obviously, okay, if she's going to supervise his whereabouts, she's got some trust issues with him, but in terms of politics or in terms of every topic, it doesn't make sense that somehow, some way, the pornography history is related to that. It seems like what you're saying you see is that she's very, very insecure and that she has to keep a very close watch on everything said and done because it threatens her somehow.
Right.
You can't go against it. What are you going to do?
Mm-hmm.
You're going to tell your son, why is she so controlling with you? Why are you allowing her to be so controlling? What would happen if you did that?
Oh, it's already backfired in a few indiscreet ways that I would, ask a question and mention something to him, and then he would say something, and then she'd get word of it, and then she gets mad. And so I just feel caught in the middle, and I'm trying everything I can to not be caught in the middle, but I'm afraid my son might start resenting me if he keeps getting scolded by his wife.
She can't scold him about you if you don't do anything wrong. If you're just pleasant and you don't give your opinions about things, which clearly is going to get you in trouble from what you're describing. You can't give your opinions. You can't give your opinions about religion. You can't give your opinions about politics. You can't give your opinions about child rearing. You can't give your opinions about marriage. You can't give your opinions about their religion. You can't. You can say, boy, it's a beautiful blue sky, isn't it? I really love blue skies like that. And you say to yourself, what kind of relationship is that with my son? And you're right. It stinks. But the problem is, any time you even step into her turf as she sees it, and her turf sounds like it's very broad, little by little, she pulls the reins back on your son.
Right.
Parents like you in your situation will say to me, I don't get it. I do not get why my son is being so controlled by this.
Right.
And one explanation on this, Anna, is that he's got to live with her. And he may decide it's a lot less troublesome to not fight her about these things than it is to go against her and try to have more of a relationship with you over and above her will. I've seen that. I've seen it a lot. You know, you take it personal. It's like, what happened? What's my son doing to me? Why is my son rejecting me? Well, he may not be rejecting you. He may be taking the path that is less bad for him, which is don't rock the boat with her, because she'd get very, very upset. And therefore, I will try to keep a healthy distance from my mom, because if I get too close, she doesn't like it. That's probably the best way to interpret it, so you don't feel so bad toward your son. Okay. You might just recognize you don't know what he could be living with.
Right. Well, and he's already has job issues, and he's down on himself spiritually, and she sees that. But at the same time, she just wants another baby, and she'll ask me, and I'll say, well, he's got a lot spiritually that he's battling, and he's probably worried about his finances. I mean, it's like she comes to me looking for answers, and I'll try to.
But if you give an answer she doesn't want to hear,
it goes silent.
Yep. So I think your best bet would say, well, what do you think about all this? What do you think would be the way to deal with it? That's throw it back on her.
Okay.
But tell your son next time you talk with him alone, say, hey, I don't know what you're dealing with at home, but I just want you to know you're not going to get any pressure from me to come around more. I will accept whatever you feel you're allowed to do, whatever you feel you want to do. I will accept that. You don't have to juggle your wife and me. And I'll tell you what, honey, I bet he'll breathe one major league sigh of relief.
Okay.
All righty.
All right.
God bless you, dear.
Thank you so much. Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Dr. Ray.
Pre-planning your cemetery arrangements is the most loving gift you can give to your family. Resurrection Cemetery in Clinton Township is one of the largest Catholic cemeteries in Michigan, offering many burial, crypt, and cremation options. Featuring incredible Catholic artwork throughout, Resurrection Cemetery's beautifully maintained grounds are second to none. Our compassionate staff makes pre-planning simple. Call 586-412-6244 or visit mtelliott.com/resurrection today.
In the hallways of the school where I teach, anxiety is at every turn. The anxiety to get the right grades, to get into the right school with the right career program, to find the right job and then the right spouse. We think it's all up to us, but it isn't. Do we not believe that we inhabit a design, a pattern, created by God at the very beginning? All that is required is that we love and move in His love. Then trust. 17 years ago, one of our sidewalk counselors, Edmund, was involved in helping a woman who had come to the abortion clinic. When the baby was born, she named him Edmund. Many years later, she came to the Guadalupe worker's office and related how her son Edmund had been supporting the whole family since his parents had been both out of work. She did not realize that the person to whom she told the story was Edmund. GuadalupeWorkers.org.
Join us Saturday, August 15th at Assumption Grotto in Detroit for the Solemnity of the Assumption of the Blessed Virgin Mary. Celebrate this Marian feast with masses throughout the day, Eucharistic adoration, confession, rosary processions, and more. The day culminates with an outdoor mass at the grotto, followed by the beautiful Lord's candlelight procession at dusk. For the full schedule, visit AveMariaRadio.net and click Events.
We had a couple of folks on the line here who We backed off. Catherine wanted to make a comment on monologue. She thinks it's partly the parents' fault. She had personal experience on that. Yeah, the parents do expect their kids to be all above average, but also I think the school system has set it up. I have many, many teacher friends, and they will tell me the pressure, the absolute pressure to get the kids to have good grades. It looks good. I had one retired teacher tell me they had a meeting at a school, and they were told kids shouldn't flunk. So, summarily, he just simply stopped giving Fs. That's it. Nobody ever got an F. And then, Jacqueline, I wish you wouldn't have left because, this is a very common thing. I see this dynamic a lot with a step-parent. The step-parent is oftentimes rejected by the kids because the step-parent, in many cases, sees the things more objectively than the bio-parent does. And I can't tell you how many parents are in my office who are step-parents who are saying, I'm not allowed to discipline, or my spouse allows so much because weekends are the only time he or she gets to see them, and therefore they don't want to discipline, but the disrespect is high. And just as an aside, that is one of the main reasons why second marriages fail. Kids. Sarah's calling from Ontario, Canada. Hi, Sarah.
Hello there, Dr. Ray. Thanks for taking my call. So this is a follow-up a little bit to last week. I think I called, but maybe a little bit of a different situation. I am definitely leaving where I'm living. I'm in a walkout basement where the real estate agent leased me this place, which he wasn't allowed to do. And so they don't have a back valve down there, and I live kind of like in a flood zone, and they couldn't put it in because they didn't have a proper permit when they built the bathroom, so they had to bypass that and not give me one. So I did let them know that that's needed, and they just said that it's not legal and you should move. So, like when I'm
Wait a
away
minute,
from
what's not legal? Sarah, what's not legal?
What's not legal?
Yeah.
Oh, did I say that? Sorry. I'm just concentrating on walking 3 dogs. The walkout basement apartment is not legal. It is illegal. It was built with a lot of not permits and codes from the city.
So in other words, when you said to them, you need to have this certain kind of water protective device, they said, well, we're not going to get it because if we do get it, they're going to check us out and they're going to find out that what we're renting here is illegal.
No, they didn't said that. I had said to them, you need this part because this walkout basement is illegal without it. And there's other things too, just the way the bathroom is built. And they told me we had a plumber come in 2 years ago. Everything is fine. And then they said, please leave. So I just said, we want to rent it out to somebody else. And I had said back to them, I don't think the agent can lease this out. It's illegal. And that's when they kind of got really upset. They're retired and they have some health problems. So, I'm just going to leave for sure. But I mean, what about the next people that live there?
Why is it illegal in Canada?
Oh, because I have a back valve. That is allowed, but because I live in a flood zone and it's a walkout basement, they need that on there for protection in case it floods in that area.
Well,
so
I'm confused.
Mandatory.
Well, I'm confused because if the whole domicile, the walkout basement, is illegal, why would it make any difference to have a flood valve? The bigger issue is that the whole place is illegal, correct?
Yes, but this would be a danger for me when I'm out. When I'm out, my dog is there. So if they rent this to somebody else and they've got a dog.
Oh, okay, so you feel personally responsible.
Well, what do I do?
Well, you can make an anonymous call.
Oh, but you know what? That he had a massive stroke last year, so I wouldn't feel very good about that.
Well,
really
you've told them you need to get this. And
they're
they
not
said,
going to,
and they're not going
I
to,
know
and they
they're
said
not
no.
going to. Yeah.
And then if they have a realtor or whoever it is that rents that place, they should know that that's illegal and that they need to at least have that valve or whatever it is. And then the realtor, too, assumes responsibility. So it seems like further and further, your responsibility is getting less.
Yeah. Oh, no, the realtor knows that. He lives 2 doors up the street, and so does the handyman.
Well, they're all just kind of saying, we're gonna do this.
Yeah, like I'm kind of like isolated where I'm with all these people, but then a really nice lady moved in next door to me, and she's Christian. It's funny how God put some kind of support there for you, you know. But I am worried about the next people. Like I might say to them, okay.
Well, I'll tell you what, I got to let you go because I've only got 20 seconds left. But Sarah, they are all acting how they're acting, and you're not responsible for the way they're acting. This is Dr. Ray. Gotta run. Thank you for joining me here on The Doctor Is In. Walk with God.
For information on Dr. Ray's presentations, books, and CDs, visit drray.com and follow him on Facebook and Instagram. The Doctor Is In is a co-production of Ave Maria Radio and EWTN Radio and carried across the EWTN Global Catholic Radio Network.